Will you be my date tonight? If someone told Ethan that his entire life would change because he mopped a hallway 5 minutes late, he would have laughed. 5 minutes couldn't change anything, but fate often hides in ordinary moments. Tonight, fate was waiting behind the door marked CEO Private Lounge, strictly no entry. Ethan Cole, 32, single dad, tired janitor with a worn-out uniform and an even more worn-out spirit, pushed his cleaning cart down the hallway. His shift was almost over, and all he could think about was getting home to tuck 9-year-old Lily into bed. She hated sleeping without him there. He hated it too. He'd promised himself he would do whatever it took to make her life stable, no matter how many hours he had to scrub floors for a company that barely noticed him. But tonight, life had other plans. He knocked softly on the private lounge door out of habit. No answer. He pushed gently. The room was dim, lit only by the soft glow of recessed ceiling lights and the glittering city skyline behind the glass wall, and on the long leather sofa, curled up like a fragile shadow, was Ava. Laurent, the CEO, the woman who built half the company from scratch, the woman who walked like she owned gravity itself, the woman every employee feared, respected, or desperately wanted approval from. Her shoulders were shaking. Ethan froze mid-step. He felt like he'd walked in on something sacred, like a wild creature lowering its armor when it assumes no one is watching. Ava Laurent was crying. Her expensive mascara streaked down her cheeks in black trails. Her usually sleek hair was slightly undone, falling over her face like a curtain she could hide behind. Her hands trembled on her lap. She looked nothing like the unbreakable CEO from the elevator posters. She looked human, broken, lost. Ethan swallowed. Ma'am. I'm sorry. The door wasn't locked. I didn't mean to intrude. She didn't even look up. Leave it, she whispered. Her voice was so soft, so cracked, he barely recognized it. Ethan wanted to obey. He really did, but something in that whisper wasn't an order. It was a plea. He set down his mop quietly. You okay, Miss Laurent? A sound escaped her, half laugh, half sob. You ever have one of those days where everything falls apart, and the whole world is watching you pretend it's fine? Ethan froze, because yes, he had those days since the moment he became both mother and father overnight, but she didn't know that. Nobody did. Ava brushed her hands over her face, smearing the mascara even more. When she finally looked up, he expected to see anger, maybe embarrassment. Instead he saw desperation. Sit with me, she whispered. Ethan blinked. Ma'am, I don't think that's, please. One word, not cold, not commanding, just lonely. Ethan lowered himself onto the sofa, leaving respectful distance, though every instinct screamed that this was insane. Do you want to talk? He asked quietly. Ava let out a shaky breath. At least someone asked. And like the gates of a dam finally cracking, her story spilled out. Her engagement had ended hours earlier. Her fiancé had walked away, not quietly, not privately, but publicly. Cruelly. Calling her too married to her work and emotionally unavailable in front of their mutual friends. Her board was threatening a vote that could push her out. Her brother had lashed out at her, blaming her for their family's legacy collapsing. People she trusted were whispering behind her back, waiting for her to slip, and she had nowhere to put all the pain. A silent tear rolled down her cheek. I don't know how to be weak, she whispered. People expect me to be flawless, to never break. But I'm so tired. Ethan's chest tightened. He remembered too well what it felt like to break quietly, so your child wouldn't hear. What it felt like to hide panic under a brave smile. But she didn't need advice, she needed someone to care. He nodded slowly. You don't have to be strong right this minute. Ava stared at him as if nobody had ever said those words to her before. Her voice trembled. I don't even know why I'm talking to you. Ethan gave a small, warm, not everything is disaster kind of smile. Maybe because I'm the only one here who doesn't expect anything from you. She inhaled sharply, like the realization stung, and then, as if gravity itself shifted, she gently leaned her head against his shoulder. Ethan's breath caught. This was the woman who made men tremble during board meetings, the woman whose signature could change lives. Now her tears were soaking the sleeve of his cheap janitor uniform. He didn't move. He didn't dare break the fragile peace forming between them. Minutes stretched. The room grew quieter, her breathing softened, then she whispered the words that took the air from his lungs. Will you be my date tonight? Ethan blinked. I'm sorry, what? She sat up slowly, wiping her cheeks with the back of her hand. Her eyes were red, but clearer than before. There's a gala tonight. I have to attend. I can't walk in alone. Not after everything. Everyone expects to see me with him. Her voice cracked at her ex-fiancé's name. I just don't want to be alone tonight. Ethan stared at her. He was a janitor, she was a CEO worth millions. He had a daughter who needed him, she had a building full of people who needed her. They lived in different universes. This is crazy, he said softly, I know. Her voice trembled with something he recognized, fear, but you're the first person who's been kind to me today. And I don't want to fall apart in front of people who only want to see me fail. Ethan ran a hand through his messy hair. He should say no, this wasn't his world, this wasn't his place, this wasn't, okay, he heard himself say, I'll go with you. Ava's eyes glistened again, this time not with grief, but something gentler. Thank you, she whispered, her hand brushed his, warm, shaking, grateful, and in that moment, something shifted between them, something fragile, unexpected, undeniable. Two broken people had found each other in an empty office lounge, and neither of them realized, their lives had just changed forever.